Yeah, Dana, I guess two questions. First one for you. I'll go after what that guy over there said. Where's McGregor?
I think he's in Iceland.
Can you give us an update what's going on with that?
I mean, everybody knows. I mean, this thing is pretty much played out in the media. I mean, anybody who's sitting up here and anybody who's fought for the UFC over the last 16 years knows that, we try to give as much leeway as we can on things, but you have to show up to promote the fight. You have to show up to the press conferences and shoot the commercials. I mean, is it too much to ask to try to shoot a commercial or to do the promotion for the fight? I mean, a lot of these guys came here from different parts of the world, Brazil and New Jersey. These guys all came. They have better things to do, and they're here. It's part of the job. It's what we do here. It is what it is.
Who is Nate going to fight?
I don't know. We're going to figure that out. Obviously, we couldn't. We didn't make a fight that fast. And listen, we gave Conor every opportunity in the world to get here too. We get criticized a lot for bending too much for Conor, and we do. Conor is a guy who has stepped up and fought in big fights on short notice, and I respect Conor very much as a fighter, and I like him. But you have to show up and do this stuff.
I think it was UFC 69, right? Didn't you do the Ultimate Fighter here and do the press conference in Houston via satellite? Did you ever think of doing that with him today and having him on satellite as an accommodation?
Is that fair? We could have beamed Jose in from... I don't know if you guys remember the last time Conor was fighting Jose. Jose's sister was getting married. And he was sitting right here for that fight. Jose flew in for that press conference. He stayed here for most of the questions, and then for him to be able to get time to get back for his sister's wedding the next day, he had to leave, and he did it. And many fighters have done this and had to sacrifice certain things to be here. It's part of the job. It's the one thing that you have to do.
And then if I could ask, Nate, you straight up in the middle. I just wanted to ask you, Nate, how have you taken all this? And so right now you don't really know who you're going to fight. Is there anybody out there, rumors of GSP being on the card? And I know, he fought your brother, maybe Robbie Lawler. Is there any thought in your mind of who you would prefer to fight? And how have you dealt with all this McGregor situation?
I came to fight Conor McGregor, and I don't really have too much interest in anybody else. I don't have any interest in fighting at all. But if that's what we were going to do, I thought we were going to do it.
Dana, just to be clear, everything that you said is 100% accurate and fair, but there is still nobody sitting there. So is Conor still in the running? Could this still happen? Since the promotion hasn't started with anybody else, couldn't he say yes? Or are we closing the door entirely and saying Conor McGregor is ruled out of UFC 200?
Listen, I just don't see how that's fair. You know what I mean? He came in from Stockton, days ago, Poland, Brazil, and the list goes on where these people have come from all over the world, and I get it. It's tough when you have to, when you have to leave everything you got going up. The fight's 3 months away. The fight's still 3 months away. That's why we do it this early, so we try not to interfere with their training and their lives and everything else. It's just part of the deal. These guys came. Listen, I was talking to some of the guys backstage, the fighter, they would like Conor to fight on the card too. People want Conor to fight. So do the fans, the media, everybody. You think I don't want Conor to fight? Of course I do. But it's not right. You can't not show up for this stuff. You can't do it. It's not right.
Definitively ruling him out at this point.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Do you see? Yes. Holy shit.
Just want to be clear. And then one other question for you. Khabib Nurmagomedov said that he was offered a fight with George St. Pierre at UFC 200. I just wanted to verify the accuracy of that and find out, does that mean that George is committed to potentially fighting either at 200?
To the best of my knowledge, that is completely inaccurate. I wasn't in that meeting.
Fair enough. Thank you. If I could, for Misha, please. Misha, after your last victory, of course, we immediately started wondering what was next, and the conversation was, is it Holly, is it Rhonda? You end up with Amanda instead. What's your take on that? You know, when they came to you with the offer, what did you think? And do you feel she's a deserving #1 contender at this point?
Yeah, I love this fight. I always want to fight girls that are on a win streak and are the new hot thing coming up, and I think that's Amanda. I think she's one of the most well-rounded girls in the division. I think she poses problems that most of the other girls do not. So I'm very excited for the fight, but let me clarify, I'm not against a rematch with Holly. I'm getting a lot of heat for that, but at the end of the day, I'm not the matchmaker, and we agreed that Amanda is the next girl in line, so that's fine with me.
Thank you, Misha. And just one quickie for Joanna, if I could, please. Dana revealed to us that after Tough wrapped, you and Claudia kind of got into a little bit of a skirmish when the cameras were off. I'm curious if you could just recall what happened that day, kind of who was to blame for what happened and how it all went down.
It was a long time ago, so I don't remember. But I asked Claudia if we could have some coffee after everything, but she said no, so her choice.
A question for
Gonna
Nate.
put the fist into your mouth, July 8th.
I think you need that somewhere else.
I told you when you send me few kisses in the gym, I say to you that I'm engaged. I'm not a different one, so.
I guess
Stay
he's
there.
not doing
Stay
the
there.
right job, because if he was,
worry.
you wouldn't be that bitch.
When we came in for rehearsals, they had these two sitting right here, and I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Who's got the next question?
A question for Nate. Hey, Nate. Dana said at the top of the press conference that you're going to remain on the card, that they're going to find you a new opponent. I'm wondering if that interests you, if anyone outside of Conor McGregor interests you for UFC 200.
Ariel just got here.
I didn't ask for that fight, but he asked for it and he wanted it. And if that ain't gonna happen, I'm going on vacation.
So just to be clear, it's Conor or no one for you at 200, right? And I'm also wondering if you read what he wrote on Facebook yesterday and if you understood, you and your brother have sometimes had issues with doing media tours and things like that. Do you kind of understand where he's coming from a little bit?
He's got a lot of catching up to do, so there ain't no time for this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've been dodged all this for years. I've been in trouble for it, So I understand. It's all good. Let him do his thing, get his train on, and then get ready to fight. It's all good with me.
So have you told Dana, say, look, this is the fight that I want, this is the fight that people want, let's just make the fight. If you're okay with it, have you tried to have that conversation with him?
That's what he wanted, and I'm down for whatever. Like I said, I'm gonna come here to fight if we're gonna get that fight going. If not, I'm going on vacation for real.
And just for you, Dana, obviously this was a huge news story this week, and I'm wondering if you've looked at the amount of buzz this has generated and kind of thought, well, to Conor's point, the fight is even bigger now. So yeah, it maybe wasn't the plan, but let's roll with this, and now it's an even bigger fight, and we'll make more money at the end of the day.
No, I don't disagree with that. But Conor will fight again. Is it fair to everybody that's sitting up here? I mean, people came in from Poland and Brazil. I mean, how many times do I got to say that? I mean, is that fair?
Well,
Huh?
well, I was told as a young kid, life is sometimes not fair, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people get special treatment, and I
Yeah.
feel like
But it's not right. It sets a bad precedent. It's not the deal.
Okay.
It's not the deal, man. These guys came in from all over the world and they're here, and it's been that way for 16 years. People have been doing their PR. We even, and Nate just said it. We've had our moments. You ask me, is it so? We're spending $10 million. We put up all the money. We're spending $10 million in promotion on this fight, and we can't even shoot a commercial with the main event?
He did say New York, though. Were you open to negotiation as far as doing it
The
next
whole
week? or
production
something?
crew is here. They came in from LA, and they're shooting all these guys here. They've been shooting the commercial the last 3 days.
Okay, one last thing. Just I wanted to get
Yeah,
your.
I know it's not. It sounds like it's that easy. It's not that easy. Conor, listen, Frankie and Jose are going to fight, and Conor will fight the winner.
Okay. So what's your response to Nate saying that if he doesn't get Conor at 200, he's not interested in being a part of the card?
Yeah, well, we'll work that out. We'll talk, and we'll figure it out. The thing is that I didn't want to screw him out of UFC 200. You know what I mean? If he wanted to be a part of this thing and wanted to fight, then I wanted to give him that opportunity.
Okay. I guess the part I'm just not understanding is if he wants to fight and Conor wants to fight and everyone wants to fight, why not just make the fight?
Next question.
Thank you, Dana.
I know. Life's tough. Ariel said it.
Question for Dana.
Yeah.
Dana, if you do find a new opponent for Nate, and if it is not, in fact, Conor McGregor, would the fight remain in the main event slot regardless of who the opponent is, or would that be determined
Say
later?
that again. What would what?
If Nate gets a new opponent, okay, would he stay in the main event slot, or could he possibly...
Well, one of the title fights would be the main event. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, is it a lock that it would be a welterweight fight? I mean, I realize the welterweight champion doesn't have a fight right now and the lightweight champion does, but could it possibly be back at 155?
That's up to Nate. We'd have to talk about that. Like I said, we gave Conor every opportunity to be here today. So we haven't really talked to Nate about any options yet. We will.
Dana, could you also confirm the accuracy of the reports that we heard that when you were trying to work this out with McGregor, he was offered a private plane, he was offered to have all the gym equipment shipped over stateside? Is that all true?
All these guys were flying private for the press tour. Yeah, they were all flying private. It was from Vegas to Stockton to New York. Yeah.
And finally, on that subject, is it possible, I'm assuming all the guys have and ladies have a clause in their contract about doing reasonable promotion for a fight once they're contracted to do it. Is there a possibility that a fighter that wouldn't do that after they signed a bout agreement would be in breach of contract?
What's that?
Could a fighter be in breach of contract if they agreed to a fight but then did not promote the fight after it was scheduled?
I don't know. We're not going there. I mean, everybody knows that that's the deal. We're not talking breach here. Conor, it is what it is.
Question for Frankie Edgar. Frankie, you're getting your rematch with Jose Aldo. The first time you guys met, that was a very closely contested fight. A lot of people argue you may have won that fight. Do you anticipate doing anything differently this time around, or do you think it's a matter of the judging then versus the judging now? Same game plan.
I'm just trying to make the distance between me and him much greater so then judges can't get it wrong. I would love to go in there and get a finish, and then I don't have to worry about the judges. I feel like the momentum's on my side this time. I'm ready to get it done.
Question for Travis Brown. Travis, can you speak to the importance of this fight for your career? Obviously, you're still a very highly ranked heavyweight coming off of a win, but given the fact that Cain is #1 contender, was this rank as one of the more important fights of your career, given what's on the line?
Definitely. Fighting a guy like Cain, he's #1 contender. He ran the division for years. So getting a fight on 200 on that big of a stage against a great opponent, there's nothing more important in my life than come out here and compete 200, give the fans what they want, scrap.
And final question for, if I could ask this of Rafael dos Anjos and Jose Aldo. Both of you guys have been on the other end of the Conor McGregor show in the past. What does it look like as an outsider watching this, the way it's played out this week? If I could ask that question first of Rafael.
Can you say it again, please?
Yes. Could you, you are on the outside looking in now of all the chaos that's gone on with Conor McGregor, as opposed to the fight that you had scheduled with him originally. How does that appear to you now as a bystander? Is it a little bit of a relief to be on the outside of that and have a different opponent?
Yeah, everybody, like Dana said, everybody has, I'm supposed to be in Singapore training now. I cancel all my trip to be here. I'm leaving to Singapore tomorrow. And I think Conor find a way to run away from Diaz again.
Thank you.
Question for Eddie Alvarez. Eddie, obviously only a few days ago you said that this title fight actually wasn't on. Can you give us the kind of turn of events of how it came together? And also want to know, are you slightly disappointed considering it is a title fight that it's not on UFC 200?
I don't mind what venue it's on, whether it's 200 or... I'm fighting for the world title. I'm looking at this as an opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm taking it dead serious. So I'm just grateful to be in the position I'm in and be able to fight Rafael, and I'm looking forward to becoming the next UFC lightweight champion.